So I'm on a very special trail. I don't know how much time these people are coming, but this trail has meant a lot to me. I had a friend show it to me, and it became like my sanctuary and my place to connect with nature and with the divine and with my higher power. And right here, I just want to get a video of this tree real quick, because this tree right behind me, I love this tree. So one day I was coming here for a walk, and it was when I was breaking up with my husband, well, before I had done it. And this was the walk where I was making the decision what I wanted to do and what I needed to do at that time. Anyway, and as I was bawling my eyes out, and as I walked past this tree, I felt like this tree was calling to me. And it sounds silly, but this tree, I felt like I didn't even hesitate. It was like, hug me. And so I walked up to this tree and I hugged this tree. And so this tree means so much to me, because even though I was alone and I was bawling my eyes out and I was in such despair, like, I heard the tree and I went to the tree and I hugged the tree, and it was just amazing. So every time I pass it now, I always send it love and gratitude just for being there for me. So much love and gratitude. But on my walk here, like, I get really connected with nature and my thoughts. And so even though I use my headphones, I listen to music and I can still get the messages and feel the energy of the music. So I don't have to have it quiet, although I do love the nature sounds, but I love my music too, because music can bring so much out of you along with the nature. So just the combination of the two just is a win-win for me. What I do doesn't always work for everybody, and that's okay. But all I gotta say is you gotta keep trying things and find what works for you. And when something does work, stick with it. Like, I haven't been on this walk here for a long time. Weather's been bad, and I haven't been able to get out without freezing. And today it's so beautiful. Like, it's just so gorgeous. It's 70 degrees, the sun's out, and I have that sense of peace and serenity that I get when I come to these places. And when I get those peace and serenity feelings here, I can replicate them when I'm not here, which is good, although I still need to get out and get back into nature to fully get connected again, because I was feeling kind of icky yesterday, last night, super emotional, stuff I still got to work on. We all got to work on stuff. And I thought, I need to get back out to where home is. This is home. Like, I know I have my home, but this is my second home. And this is my home away from home, to reconnect with me and not have all the messiness of everything going on around me. I love my family, but sometimes you just got to get away and get reconnected with yourself, because you can easily lose yourself so fast. And I realized that this past week, like, wow, I think you're doing better. And it's like, whoop, that little rug comes out from underneath you for a sec. But you just have to re-brace yourself and know that you can get reconnected. You can find your way back quicker than you used to. And coming out here in nature does that for me. And I love this trail because there's trees, so many trees. There's water, there's animals. Like right now I see a squirrel over here. I always see my bluebirds here. And I feel like the energy. Like, I was just doing my video, like I was dancing down the road with my headphones on. And I dance like nobody's watching. It doesn't matter who's watching. Like, what's important is what's good for you. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about you. Do what you feel is right. Do what makes you happy. Do what lights you up. Do what brings you joy. And that can only bring good things, you know? And even if you're having a hard time, it still brings you out of the funk for a little bit, which is so nice. And it's just so beautiful. Like, how can you not enjoy this? I don't know if I could show you guys, but see, it's so beautiful. And like you have all these fallen trees that they've cut back so that way you have a way to walk. But you just look at how elaborate these root systems are. So look at this. I don't know if you can see. There you go. Okay. So that's like us. Like we have these energy roots. Like we don't have actual physical roots, obviously, but we have these energy roots that just come out from the bottoms of us. And we need it to absorb the good energy and release the waste and stuff we no longer need. And so you just think of it that way. You picture them coming out the bottoms of your feet and connecting deep, deep, deep into the earth. And see how this tree here is connected to this tree here. I don't know if you can see that, but let's see if I can get down here without dropping my glasses. So that piece in the middle there, that is that tree over there connecting to this stump over here. So that's how we connect. We seriously connect this way. And it's such a beautiful thing. I mean, if you think about all the trees that are like around me, see all these trees, and they all have a root system, and they all know what they do, and they all grow up towards the light. They are all trying to reach the light. And sometimes they have to use each other to lean on each other. Like for example, that tree there you see, and they're crisscrossing. And so sometimes they have to lean on each other when they need the support. Because you can't always do it alone. You have to do it with support and encouragement and love. And so, I mean, see what I mean? There's just so many things to learn if we take the time to just shut off and just get into like what makes us feel good. And so for me, it's nature. It may not be for you. It could be swimming. It could be doing the dishes. It could be a hobby, cleaning a fish tank. It could be, but it's the thoughts that come when you're doing those things that you need to listen to and pay attention to. And then write them down, because someday it's all going to make more sense. And then as you start doing it and become more grateful of what's happening, you start seeing it more and more and more. And the more you recognize, like I find hearts everywhere. I find messages everywhere because I'm grateful for all the messages that I'm finding. And I just think that's truly amazing. I'm going to walk past these people because they're going to think I'm crazy talking to my phone. You can enjoy the scenery as I pass by. Cute little kids. Hi. Hi. Yeah. Cute. So anyway, I always feel weird about making these videos because I don't normally make these videos. So people see you do that and might think you're crazy, but it's okay. Who cares what people think, right? That's a good example. I need to stop caring what people think about me. Okay, so here's another way that I come. So let me show you an example. So here, I don't know if you can see it. This is really difficult to do with my phone. Let me go this way. All right, now let's see what I can do. Okay, so you see that? There's a Y there. So you can come in from that way, and you can come in from that way, but it's all going that way. And when you come out of there, you can choose which way you want to go. Well, to me, that's like in life. You can decide, you have a choice for everything. And you have a choice of which way you want to go and what you want to do. So I'm choosing to go this way because I love this space over here. There's lots of, I've seen a hawk, woodpeckers, rabbits. Hopefully I don't see any mountain lions. I guess there was one back here at one point, but hey, it was a small one. Anyway, oh, there's water. Yay. Look, there's water. It's so pretty. And you can hear the water rushing over there. And so like I said before, with energy and water, if water is moving, water is flowing. Water is pushing energy and pushing debris and everything else out of the way. and pushing it downstream, just like you're going to push it down to your root system and down to the earth. And once you push it down to the earth, then it'll be transmuted to positive. But when water gets stagnant, like if you look down here, the water's not moving so much, and it's around this big block, as I will call it. It's a rock, but it's also a block. And so that's like a block in our energy system where things get stopped up and then stuff starts to accumulate around it. And so if we don't work to clear that stuff out around it, then it just gets muckier and muckier and muckier. And after a certain amount of time, it starts to create symptoms in our body. And so for me, I manifest a lot of my symptoms in my body based on the garbage that's going on around me in my emotional life. It's not always physical. I usually start with emotional. And so when I'm feeling guilt or anger or whatever, I start to feel that in my body, and that's just the block that's happening here and all the stuff that's accumulating around it. And so I have to do something to get this moving. And there could be a multiple of different ways that you can do that. Like for me, doing Qigong helps me. Doing Reiki helps me. Massages are great. I would love to go get a massage. Let's see what else. Walking, just something so simple as walking. And if you can't walk, like if you're not able to get around so easily, that's where a lot of Qigong comes into play, because you can do a lot of it sitting down, and it's really just movements, easy, light movements, but you're still using your muscles, and it's getting the energy to flow and move through your body. And so that's what I do for me. And also tapping is another good thing, and I want to do more videos on stuff like that to teach you guys your acupressure points for tapping, because that's what tapping is you're tapping on your acupressure points to move the energies and the flows and the blockages that are happening, which is why you feel so much better after you do a tapping session. So like I used to have a lot of problems with anger, depression, and stuff like that, or pain even. And so when you do the tapping session, you immediately feel relief. For me, it did. Definitely want to try it and see if it works for you. I think for me personally, it worked. So that's why I'm sharing it. But there's just like back to the nature and back to feeling connected. We get so disconnected. We're always on our phones doing this mindless numbing stuff of, I know I catch myself doing it all the time. Facebook Reels or Instagram Reels or TikTok Reels or whatever those are. And I'm like just mindlessly watching these things that are not helping me. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I need to take care of me. Like I have stuff I need to work on. I have character defects I need to fix. I have things I need to get moving in my body so my body works properly. And these things are so important. So then I have to like, okay, put that aside, you know. There's a time and place for it. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm saying that's good for you too. But I also need to remember to get back to these spaces here, because who doesn't love this? This is so gorgeous and so pretty. And just finding myself, finding that love and that balance. And even though I felt bad last night after I went to bed, I just knew I needed this today. And I knew I needed to connect. And I knew I needed to come up with something to help me get out of my funk. And everything doesn't always plan out as we'd like. Like I had something in mind that I wanted to do, and then I got turned down, and I felt really terrible about it. And it's like, how did I deal with that? Well, I let myself be upset about it. I recognized those feelings that I was feeling about it and felt like I wasn't good enough. That's always been an issue with me, that I'm not good enough. And so that's an ongoing process that I'm working on. But I feel like I wasn't good enough, and that's why I didn't get that thing. And I had to really sit with how I felt about it and got real, like down to the depths of it. It's not that I'm not good enough. And realize that everything does happen for a reason, and everything, there is a lesson in it. And so the point is that it's okay. it doesn't mean I'm not good enough. It means that things are going to happen and things aren't always going to go the way that you want them to go. But there's a reason that everything happens the way it happens. And you have to trust in the process and then look for something else. If you want to do something else, then try something else. If that doesn't work out, then you try something else. You just keep following those steps of what makes you feel good and what makes you happy. And so that's why today I'm like, I'm just going to walk and I'm just going to be happy and I'm going to dance my ass off and I'm not going to care who's looking at me because it makes me feel good. I said it's like when you're, for me, dancing, like you have all this energy, like I said, that needs to be moved. So you can use it with dancing as well. Didn't even think of that. It's so cleansing because like a dog, when a dog jumps in the water here, what does he do when he gets out? He shakes it all off. He doesn't want that on him anymore. He shakes it all off and gets it all out. Well, that's the same thing with us. It's just we have energy that we have to move, energy that we have to shake off. And just let it shake off like a dog into the earth. The earth will transmute it into something positive. And also remember your root system. As long as you have a strong foundation root system, like I don't know if you can see here, but this tree is amazing. So it's hanging off the edge here, but see all the roots that are coming out? Like it's still holding on. It's still standing strong. It's still growing up towards the light. So with that being said, if you, and you know, there's been plenty of storms you guys have seen here. So with that being said, as long as you have a strong base, a strong foundation, and a strong hold into the ground, into your connection, into you, your connection to you and to your higher power or whatever that may be, call it what you want. It doesn't matter what you call it. Call it the universe. Call it the love for yourself. It doesn't matter. There's no specific name that you have to use. Just know that if you have this strong root foundation, you will not fall. And if you do start to fall, know that you can call on somebody to help you. And there used to be a tree over here. I don't know if I could find it. It's so bright. But there was a tree over there that was leaning on the other tree. It may have fallen now. But there was another tree that was holding up the other tree. So know when to reach out for support. Know when to ask somebody for help. And know the right people to do it with. You don't want to go to the person that's going to make you feel bad. And you don't want to go to the person that's going to try and fix everything for you because that's not their job. Their job is not to fix you. Their job is to help you fix yourself. So if you find that person that's helping you fix yourself, that's great. You don't want somebody to try and fix you and tell you what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and tell you you're wrong. And because there's no right or wrong. There's absolutely no right or wrong. It's just what you feel you need to do. And if you do something that's not exactly the best feeling or the right, not necessarily the right way, but the best feeling or doesn't feel right, then change it. Who cares? Who says it's right or wrong? That's judgmental. I'm not judging if somebody's doing something that they want to do, and if it doesn't turn out the wrong way, I'm not going to say like, I told you so. Well, we always do that. But it's finding the right support. Don't find somebody that's going to try and fix you for you, because you have to fix yourself. Just like with when I used to all those weight loss things, like tell you what to do, tell you what to eat, tell you what, when to do it. But what happens when that's gone? Like if you don't have your foundation for yourself on what you need to do for yourself, how are you going to keep moving forward and staying in that place of that weight loss? I always reverted back and gained a bunch of weight. My highest weight was 305 pounds, and I just about cried because I let myself get there. That was my choice to get there. I could have stopped it. I could have made a different choice. I could have found help, different kind of help, or whatever it may be. So I've discovered that a lot of what we need lies within us, but we need other people to bring it out of us. And even if it's not other people, although I do think for me, I need both. I need people that support me, and I also need the spiritual, I call it my spiritual team that helps me. So whether it be whatever you call it. For me, it's my angels and my spirit guides and my past loved ones that have passed on. So I lean on them, and I get those messages when I'm connected out here. And that's where I feel it most. And not only that, but I feel connected with the energy of the trees. The trees are alive. As silly as that sounds, it's true. They're all living. They all have the same purpose, is they want to grow. They want food. They want water. They want to grow towards the light, which nourishes them. They all have the same goal. And then they let go of whatever they don't need, and they soak up from the earth what they do need, which is exactly what we need to do too. It's all just energy that you can't see, but doesn't mean there's not the energy pieces around you. There's all these fine little things that it's energy strands that we bring out of our body. So like, for example, this root system here. I don't know if you see this thing right here. It looks like a huge branch. That's actually the root. So as your roots grow, they start off as tiny little things, but you all know how strong those tiny little twigs are that come off the root system. They're so strong they can break through cement and everything else. They're so strong and so small. But that's what it is. You start small and then you grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And in the process, we shed a lot of what we don't need, just like the snake sheds its skin, or even the spiders, that molt, or the lizard. We all have to shed skins in order to keep growing and keep learning and keep expanding. And so I guess what I ask for you guys today is just find a space where you feel this connection and you feel like you can hear those messages. And sometimes, like for me, my mind's always going. It's like, no, blah, 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 blah. I can't shut the damn thing off. But when I come out here, maybe that's probably, I just didn't realize that's why I listen to music. So when I come out here, I put on my music and I'm just focusing on the music and the dancing, and not even necessarily dancing, but just walking to the beat and just the feel good stuff. And then it just comes, like I'll be walking past something and it just hits me like, oh wow, I just had that random thought. Oh, that must have been from my spirit team. What are they trying to tell me? And then when you start asking more questions, like, what are you trying to tell me? I don't understand what that means. Or what does that mean? Or tell me more about that. Like, even though you're having these conversations in your head, you don't have to have them out loud, more comes. And it may not come right away. Be patient, because, you gotta get grounded and listen. And it feels like imagination. It really does feel like your imagination, like you're hearing your own voice in your head. And you're like, is that coming from me, or is that like something else? So it's just such a beautiful thing to play with your imagination. Like, it's not all your imagination. And that's how you get that side of your brain going. And if you have trouble, like me, shutting off your mind and stopping those thoughts that you don't want to be thinking, because really, I just want to focus on the now. And the now is, I'm feeling good, I'm walking, I feel the ground under my feet, I feel the trees. You could go hug a tree. Look, I'm going to do it right now. I'm going to hug a tree. Why the hell not, right? I love this tree. I've sat by this tree. I've journaled by this tree, everything. So it's so beautiful, and it's got lots of layers. And I'm going to hug this tree. And you know what? Just the feeling that you get of just pure unconditional love and light. And just knowing that you're not alone, and you're here for a reason, and that you matter, and that you are good enough, no matter what anybody ever says, no matter what you've done, where you've come from. It doesn't matter. You're good enough. You're unconditionally loved. And we are all one. We're all equal. We all just have our own stuff and different stuff that we go through. And we all have to find our way and always continue to listen to ourselves. So important, so important. It doesn't matter what anybody else's thoughts and opinions are. As long as we listen to ourselves, that's all that matters. And trust that we will be given the answers that we need when we need them. And there is hope that we can truly be happy with ourselves and not need things that we thought we used to need that aren't so important. What's important is that love and care for ourselves and do things that make us happy and bring us joy and help us grow and help others, and not fix them, because we don't want to fix you, because you're perfectly imperfect. You don't need to be fixed. You just need someone to hold you and be there for you and listen to you. And that is so important, that we are all here for each other and help us shed all these layers. I don't know if you can see all these layers. But like this tree, it used to have acorns in it. There's acorns over, like there used to be in here, there was holes. I don't see them now because they probably all eaten them, but see that hole right there and up there? They used to be full of acorns, and we stuff stuff in ourselves, in our body, that we're holding on to. And sometimes we don't know why we're holding on to these things. Sometimes it doesn't always make sense. And then we realize someday that it's time to let that go. I don't need that anymore. I'm not that person anymore. And I don't want to be hurt with that memory or thought or energy anymore. It's time to give it to your higher power, give it to the earth, give it to the universe, the moon, whatever you want to give it to. And start shedding those layers. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's not what I'm saying. It's an everyday process, and it's always going to be a process for the rest of our lives. It's just we get to a point where we can work through them quicker, and a new thing will pop up, and we'll learn something new, and we'll let that go as quickly as it came as well. And for me, I'm just still on my path. And if while I'm on my path, I'm able to help somebody else, anybody else, even if it's just one person, even if that person is just myself from talking out loud, because, you know, I always had a hard time speaking up and doing this, for goodness sake. So not me. But that just shows that I'm growing. So sometimes in my talks, I hear what I need to hear for myself. So if that's all I get out of it, then I'm worth it. It's worth it. I'm going to keep telling myself that I'm good enough. And I talk about mirror work. Mirror work is so powerful. So along with your tree hugging or whatever, the ground hugging, I don't care. Go to the beach, lay on the sand, hug the sand. Feel the warm rays of the sun just penetrating every cell of your body and nourishing and giving you exactly what you need and helping you let go of what you no longer need. And using mirror work to just look yourself in the eye every time you pass by a mirror and say, I love you. Louise Hay always says, I love and accept myself. And just love and accept yourself, but tell yourself that. It's not easy at first. And I found it harder to say, I love you, Jennifer, in the mirror. That was really awkward, and it was uncomfortable. But sometimes things in the beginning are uncomfortable. And then they get easier. And then I was saying next was, I'm willing to change. I am willing to change. I deserve this. I am worthy. I am good enough. And just fill your mind and look deep into your soul, because your eyes are connection to the soul, which is in your heart. And just really feel it when you look at yourself deep into your eyes. And remember, thank yourself for doing the work and be grateful for doing the work, and be grateful for any time you get a message. I just say thank you. Can you please tell me more? And just keep listening and keep being open. And just do what's right for you. And just know that you are loved unconditionally. And I love you unconditionally. And I'm not perfect. I'm also perfectly imperfect. That's for damn sure. But it's okay. It's okay to forgive yourself. It's okay. It's okay if you mess up. We all mess up. That's what they call it, practicing. You practice and you practice and you practice. And that's all that we can do. And just thank yourself for showing up and doing the work and doing what you need to do for you. This is about you and you being happy and you being loved and you being light. So with that, I love you all, and I'm going to continue on my walk and really work on the pieces that I need to work on still, because I got lots of them. But I will come back and share the things that I am learning, and feel free to take what you like and leave the rest, like they say. All right. I love you all. Thank you. I don't even know how to say how much I love you. Like, I want to find a word that's just like the I love you, but it's like that unconditional love. I love you, because I don't think that I love you is good enough. It's good enough, but I want something more special. So I don't know. I'm going to come up with something. But I love you. I love you. I love you. And just know that I mean that from the depths of my soul. Take care. Peace with you.